Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2 we do it live. WCS Spring 2019 quarterfinals, a rematch of the WCS Winter Finals. In this game of drones, the constant match between the two best Zergs, maybe not just in Europe, but possibly the world. Reynor in the last series was able to take an upset win over the King in the North. 4-3 in WCS Winter. Spoilers for those of you who, for some reason, haven't watched that yet. But Serral is back. Let me introduce. In the top left, the Italian, just turning 16 last year, and able to play in WCS. And now winning one just a couple months ago. It's Reynor. And in the bottom right, it is, of course, the world champion, the four-time WCS champion. It's Serral. He looked a little shaky, to be honest. In WCS Winter, he looked a little shaky. He's lost innovation lately a couple times. Serral has a little... For anyone else, it would have been some of the best results in their career. For Serral, it was a bit of a slump. But he's made it to the quarterfinals again, of course. Any finals without Serral feels wrong, but Reynor stands in his way, the man who beat him before. It's a best of 5. And I was able to do so much backstory and commentary, because both these players, as we saw in WCS Winter, European Zergs... I don't know if it's specifically because we see so many games of these specific players, but a surprisingly small amount of cheese. I don't know, and by that I mean like early pools, like mainling rushes, even Nidus. Those are pretty rare, and I don't know if it's specifically the way these two match up against one another, but almost every game is hatch first versus hatch first into taking a third. Maybe one player goes heavy into Zerglings, the other tries to go up to Roaches, but it's pretty rare to see anything happening before at least 4 or 5 minutes in. Anything drastic, that is. So. But Reynor has definitely, like... They're two different type of players, for sure. ZVZ is a bit of a different matchup, but Reynor is a much more decisive... that's not the way I want to phrase it. Reynor is he will be very decisive and riskier. Not necessarily risky, like, well, if you scout it, it's not going to work, but he will play riskier. He'll take bigger risks, and they will sometimes pay off. Whereas Serral is kind of a bit of a machine, like, this is how you're supposed to play. Okay? Like, I will play correctly, and I will win everything. Except for WCS Winter against Reynor. So... And we already see that a little bit here. Serral is taking a third. He's getting a little bit of a later evolution chamber. He hasn't gone for a lair where Reynor is rushing +1 speed Roaches. So, that is... Now, Serral, the thing about this is these timings are so sharp that even... Serral, I almost guarantee you right now, Serral knows what's coming. The fact there isn't a third, there's already creep, Evo Chamber, Roach Warren... Reynor is telegraphing exactly what he's doing, because there's no really hiding it. And Serral's going to confirm. He's going to see the split second of the Roach Warren upgrading. There's a small chance, like, he could be hiding a Nidus or even going Spire, but it's really difficult against a player like Serral to hide that for long enough that it would be effective. So Reynor isn't even trying. He's like, this is my build. I'm going to attack. He's going to send the queens. Brenda! We've been hired again. There's creep over there. Okay, just take a break. Wait, what? Somebody put down a tumor. Or not. Apparently not. He's gonna make a pseudo creep highway with the speed boost here. And Reynor's gonna hit this head on. He's got +1, he's got speed, and by the time the queens get there, he's looking to have them all done. Serral putting together his defenses. He's already got roaches on the way. He's building a spine crawler. He's got 45 drones, 12 more drones, and a hatchery, and no roach speed. But he does have the defender's advantage. He's already evacuating his third. He's deemed it too risky to try to mine from. He's just going to try to hold the line. And he is correct. Like, as long as he holds, he does have an economic lead. Reynor is holding back his roaches so they have a position where they can engage Serral coming down the ramp. Serral is waiting on his +1. Looks like he's willing to give up that third in favor of getting the +1, which is a very important damage boost upgrade in Roach v. Roach. Reynor continues to stream across. The third is gone. +2 attack for both sides at identical timings. Reynor will use this to take a third of his own, but he's down 13 workers. Can he go up there? He does have the Roach lead. It's 21 to 16, but that is quite a choke point. The queens are... okay. I thought this was supposed to be a one-way trip. No, Brenda. Not today. Go home. After the war, they went home, they injected their hatcheries, they spread their creep. They were never really satisfied because they gained a taste for Zerg blood. But, they were forced into a more domestic life. Oh, creep tumors being taken out. Now, it doesn't really matter whose creep it is. Serral just punches down the ramp. He doesn't have speed done, but he does have the creep. And he is on his own side of the map. Serral already retaken the third. The roach count now in favor of the Finnish Zerg player. Reynor doesn't have the numbers to hold the high ground. So, Reynor still down on workers. The thing is, until you get over about that 50 drone mark, you're still getting a benefit. Serral not adding on additional drones until he knows he's safe, and he's retaking his third. He's had this economic lead for so long. It hasn't yet translated into supply, but he does have a bit of a bank. I think he's slightly deciding, do I want more roaches, or is it time for a tech switch? Maybe add on a spire. If you feel safe enough with a good economy, and you can keep building roaches, sometimes a spire is your endgame knockout choice. Okay, Serral actually building more drones. Reynor has a supply lead. He's about to have +2. They're going to be done almost identical timings. Reynor has a handful of Ravagers. He's very committed to this. Serral will be prompted to build Ravagers of his own. Very important to have that ability to deny, well, at least deny certain areas from being attacked into. +2 attack, literally 0.2 seconds apart. So there will be no advantage there for either side. Both players finish the +2. I think Reynor just realized Serral has it as well. Corrosive Biles thrown out. Not really landing, but denying the ability to attack for some of those roaches for a time. That's mostly what the Corrosive Biles are used for here. All of them used for Reynor. Serral's coming in from the back looking for the flank, but that means Reynor's going to be able to push through. There is a Contaminate on the Evolution Chamber, but +2 attack already finished. Serral on the back, gonna snipe the Ravagers. The reinforcements come up, the Queens are pulled off. Transfuse is gonna help turn the tides, and Serral now has the supply lead. Reynor jumped the gun, and Serral closed the trap. He's gonna pull back. Both sides even on workers, but Serral has started the +1 Carapace. He's had a drone lead for longer. He's had more income for longer, and now he has more roaches. He was able to kill off several of those Ravagers. Reynor losing slightly more gas. Still pretty even here. But the momentum that Reynor had with the start of that attack shifted very quickly. Serral a little bit late on the counter flank from the top, but overall crushes the aggression out of Reynor and forces him back. Ooh, knocking down an Overseer. These things add up over time. And also the vision being denied. Looks like both sides have gotten Overlord speed to keep tabs. There's nothing that can easily... there's no easy anti-air for either side. So the Corrosive Biles, as long as the Overlords are moving on these semi-random patrol paths, they're going to be very difficult to snipe off. And Overseer's coming in. And this is the reason why you don't, at this level, see things like a random Spire or going up to Hive or something. Because they're so on top of the scouting. A casual 430 versus 4 old man Serral at the ripe young age of 21, I believe he is now. At only 383 actions per minute, while Reynor blazing at 430. Corrosive Bile Valley thrown out. Everything perfectly dodged by Serral, of course. Oh my god, they called a mirror matchup for a reason. Changeling coming in, tunneling calls for both sides, Burrow for both sides. A negligible difference in time. The supplies, slight lead for Serral, but overall, I mean, that means he has map control. He's going to start banking up money. He has a couple more drones. The 4th base is done. Reynor's 4th base seconds away. Everything just a little bit quicker for Serral now. He's going to have +1 carapace a little bit quicker. He's got the 4th base a little bit quicker. He's got 49 versus 38 roaches. Reynor needs to make up the difference. He still has a lot threatening. Almost perfect vision. They're almost literally playing with map hacks right now. Because neither of them can deny vision. They just it's just about who's faster. Who makes the better moves in a quicker fashion. Some pure tactics and strategy here. Yeah, if you look at the vision of both sides, they see almost everything. Serral, oh. Both sides will see the tunneling claws. Oh, there's no overseer. Did Reynor notice those roaches? Serral's moving through the center. Reynor at the back. He's going to be on the 3rd. There's nothing here to defend. Still, the roaches boxing out. Does Reynor have enough at home? He does not. And the tunneling claws roaches from the back. Serral will win the major engagement because most of Reynor's army is across the map. And Serral's going to struggle to deal with that. Everything explodes into action. Reynor doesn't have enough at home. Both sides still maxed out because they had banks. 2 bases will fall. Serral's chasing with his reinforcements. The 3rd base is down for the count. Reynor gonna lose a lot of drones as well. Reynor's coming home. Is that the right call? Because Serral's already in his base. The contaminate being used. Corrosive bile on the eggs. Gonna knock a few out. Reynor gonna try to crush this army, but there's just so much for Serral, and now he can bring his own reinforcements. Oh, there's no detection! Serral slips out under his nose! Oh, the presence of mind to use the burrow in that situation is insane. It's so hard to make that call. He just gets out. He slips underneath, and now he has 40 more supply. Reynor desperately trying to put things together, but there are roaches in his main. He's able to drive back the attack on the front. But Reynor has lost a lot of drones. He's lost all his momentum. Simply, Serral is still mining from his 3rd. Reynor, he technically has a 3rd. Eight more drones go down. Finally, the roaches are stamped out. The supplies even up, but Serral's about to have +2 carapace. Very important, because a lot of these fights, the roaches will be bruised, but they can regenerate with the tunneling claws more quickly. So, while it's not as quick as it was in the past, it is still quite quick, and they will be at full HP for each engagement. So it's very important to have roaches live a little longer. Reynor has rebuilt the tunneling claws on the 3rd. This should cause Reynor to strike. He can't come home again. There will be no home to go back to. That's what matters. The Ravager count, we got 7 versus 4 in favor of the Italian. But the corrosive biles, he's on the ramp. He's trying to work his way down. It'll be going well so far. Reynor trying to find the engagement, but Serral is next to his reinforcements. The corrosive biles zoning well. Serral moves just tiny little moves forward out of the biles. Still, the roach is working in. He finds the only base where really mining is happening. Reynor's been thinned out. He's been knocked out. And it looks like game number 1 will go to Serral. How many roaches lost? 123 versus 119. Just a little bit faster, a little bit quicker. Just a few more roaches here and there. Reynor, at any time he could have broken through. I think coming home, I think might have been a mistake for Reynor. And also, Serral with the plays, not only forcing Reynor to come home, or at least baiting him into it, but also getting out. The entire play for Reynor was, I'm going to smash his army and then have so much consolidated that I can come across and hopefully win the game. But Serral denied him. And that was game 1. Looks like Serral is on point. Best of 5. Going to game 2. Right into it. Will we see any sort of, like, early pull? Even, like, if I'm Reynor, I don't think, like, wow, I got outplayed, outclassed. No, that was very close. It was just Serral with an immaculate defense. Still on a knife's edge pretty much the entire game. If Serral was a little bit slower in reacting, or if he didn't have quite as many roaches, on the counterattack, it could have gone either way. Like, that is a game measured in dozens of minerals rather than thousands. And here we go. Hatch first again. Why not? Now, King's Cove is both the second and third bases. Sometimes we'll see Zergs take the outer base here, but I don't think in ZVZ that'll be the choice. In other matchups, maybe, because that way you have more open space to potentially engage armies. But if your opponent is Zerg, that doesn't work as well as you might think. We'll see. But last game, it was Reynor being aggressive for most of it, and then when Serral finally struck back, it was decisive. That's kind of a trend between these two as well. Reynor, a little bit more of an aggressive player. Not cheesy, not all in, even though that last game was a little all in, because he needed to at least kill a third. The intense part, I mean, the whole thing is the intense part, right? But the fact, essentially, they have map hacks. And when they don't, that's such a big deal. Because the overlords, I mean, obviously they gotta work for it. Overlord speed, patrol pathing, stuff like that. But it literally just comes down to who's faster. Who can make the moves quicker. So, Serral takes that one. Yeah, the third base at the high ground location. Reynor? Why does Reynor have so many less drones? I mean, he built 6 links. Oh, okay. He built 6 links early. I wasn't paying any attention. The queens are not on the creep, and they're nowhere near this base. Reynor slipped the lings out. He's gonna deny the third base out of Serral. So, this is actually a huge move. So, cutting those drones to sneak the lings out pays off for sure. Denying that third base, that extra larva, and that extra potential income, but really right now the larva is the biggest factor. So, Reynor will have his third a whole, at least half a hatchery, even more build time ahead. And he did not get a baneling nest, but he's making plenty of zerglings. Because when your opponent has a baneling nest and you don't, the best defense is going to be a good offense. He needs to make sure Serral is on the defensive. Otherwise, he might get knocked out before his Roachworm can finish. Couple banelings. Serral's not taking this lion down. The ling chase continues. Serral making it look good. Looks like Reynor not going to be baited. Reynor's like, what's up with that? Oh, God. Banelings are sneaking in. Reynor should have... Whoa, okay. The dancing of death. Oh, my God. Oh, you are stressing me out, Reynor. What are you doing? You madman. But the fact that Serral was able to get banelings this close to the base is very dangerous here, obviously. Reynor with the counterattack easily cleaned up. One baneling goes down. Just a single baneling could potentially just end the game, to be honest. The zoning, not quite there, but Reynor doesn't actually have enough zerglings to hold on. Roaches are about to pop out, at least a handful of them, but the queen is under attack. Reynor has a handful more drones during this. If he can hold on to that advantage, he won't. There's no lair. There's no Evo chamber. Oh, Reynor's gonna counter Ellen. He doesn't have the tech. He has to know that Serral, if he's not continuing the aggression, he's teching up during this. And Serral, does he have a lair done? He hasn't started a lair, but he does have +1 on the way. Reynor's actually just going to build some drones. Unfortunately for him, he's going to be significantly behind on the +1. And that's a big deal, especially in Roach versus Roach. +1 attack allows Roaches, they usually kill each other in 11 hits. It only takes 9 when they have +1. And now another big one. +1 allows you to kill Zerglings in 2 hits instead of 3. So that's actually a huge damage boost. And that's why the attack upgrades are so focused compared to the Carapace upgrades in this matchup. Handful of... You didn't actually notice the Zerglings. Reynor doesn't have enough to be super dangerous, but there's a Baneling nest. Oh. Serral is building a lair. He's closing in on +1. It's not quite done yet. It should be done. Well, he won't have it when this attack starts, but by the time it ends, one way or another, it should be done. The Banelings are coming in. Plenty of roaches for Reynor. The Banelings trading out. We'll see. Oh, big hit! Serral actually eats a big hit. +1 attack. The Queen, the Transfuse, is it enough to hold the line? +1 attack is seconds from completion. It finishes. And Reynor, with enough Zerglings in front of these roaches, will be forced back. He went up to 55 drones during this. Oh, Serral, where are your units? Serral doesn't actually have any more units here. Good target fire from Reynor, because he doesn't have speed. He's not going to get away. Just has to take what he can. 60 drones. The economy is shooting up. And this is the key. This is why these players are so good. The amount of calculations you have to make while the fight is happening. They're still microing in the fight, but you got to decide, am I making more units? Am I teching up? Do I need to expand more? You have to both judge what your opponent is going to do and how well your attack is going to do, all at the same time. And as we saw last game, 2 or 3 seconds makes the difference. That attack, if +1 had finished 20 seconds later there, Reynor may have broken through, but the +1 finishing allows the roaches to just chew through significantly quicker. And Reynor is forced back. A Nidus. But like a macro Nidus. This is an interesting style. Reynor, a big Nidus fan. A reinforcing Nidus. It's like Warpgate, but with infinite units. Is he actually going to try to go in the main? Reynor has +1. He's not getting +2. That's a key point. Reynor has so many units. The Overseer's going to see it. Serral already has Overlord speed. He doesn't see the Nidus yet. Not that... I mean, it's not like Reynor's entire strength... Oh, he saw the Nidus network. He's already there in the main. Serral sees it. The roaches should be enough to kill it in time. He's already queuing up another one. The attack on the ground. So Reynor going to be shut down with the first Nidus, but the second one, he's just trying to draw him a little out of position. The roaches just slide into the front. It's a distraction. What is the roach count? 25 versus 32 in favor of Reynor, but +2 attack is finishing up. Many of the roaches are in the mail right now. They're in the Nidus, but he just can't deliver them. Serral gave up on getting a 4th because he realizes how committed this attack is. Serral now has a slight worker lead as well. He's going to have more tech, and if he has more roaches, then the only thing that Reynor can hope for is Serral being out of position, which does not happen very often, but the Niduses continue in. Each of them, they're not free. They're cheap, but they're not free. 50 minerals and 50 gas for each one. More will be taken down. Reynor's really looking for an opportunity, but +2 attack is done on the roaches. He sees that he has the... Well, this is about the best fight he's going to get. But Reynor just doesn't have the roach count. Roaches are popping out. Wait a second. He finally finds an angle. Serral's going to win the fight at the 3rd, but at the natural, the Queen will be assassinated. Drones are going down. Not enough to make a difference, but that opens up the main. The roaches going at the drones. If he kills enough of them, he'll have time to reinforce. Still some roaches out on the map. Serral looking for an opportunity. Reynor picking him apart, but Serral holds on to more than enough units for now. There's a handful of roaches in the main. Serral will respond. There's a Spire on the way as well. Serral just has the economy. The supply tells the story. It's not over yet, though. Reynor's attacks are being whittled down. The amount he's spent on these Nidus worms, 5 of them. 250, 250. Make that 300, 300 plus the network. And suddenly, it looks like Reynor will be tucking his roach tail between his roach legs. Back up his own ramp. He starts the +2 attack, but all of the upgrades for Reynor this game have been an admission of defeat, essentially. An admission that this attack is just not going to work. Serral finished his Spire. Did Reynor actually see that? He might have seen the Spire, but it doesn't matter. What are you going to do? He doesn't have the leeway here. He doesn't have the economy to just go Hydras or something like that. Unfortunately, these might be GG mutas, which are the best type of mutas if they're on your side. When they pop out, you're like, oh yeah, that's happening. And you just gotta, you don't have any choice. You just gotta hit the G key a couple times. The upgrade advantage, 2-1 versus 1-0. A backdoor Nidus trying to flank out in the middle of the map. But guess what? The mutas have arrived. Reynor trying to reinforce, still pumping out roaches and ravagers. Not enough mutas. Oh my god. We saw mutas die to corrosive bile in a professional StarCraft match. It's happening, but Serral doesn't seem to care, and eventually the mutas will work their way through. There are no armor up below. What happened there? Here come the queens! The last stand! Everybody into the Nidus! It's our last chance! Reynor's bringing everything! +2 attack not done yet! Serral is still a 2 upgrade advantage! The mutas, I have no idea where they went. They're on the other side of the map. The queen's trying to come through. +2 attack finishes for Reynor. The reinforcements are on the way. The mutas will force the base trade. Where are you going? This is it. This is all you got. GG. Serral takes 2. Reynor tried to break him. Serral holds far too strong. Looking much more dominant than the WCS Winter Finals. Reynor, for a second, it looked like the Nidus might do something. For a second. But maybe not 2. Maybe not 3. But for a second. Well, game number 3. Serral 1 match away from a clean sweep. A revenge kill. In the bottom left. ENCE Esports Serral. And in the top right. Sponsored by Gamers Origin. Reynor. He needs 3 in a row. That's a tall order. Since we're going with a hatch first again, I'd like to share. This was actually from Lambo, another top European Zerg, but I'd like to share the European top tier Zergs thoughts on Protoss real quick while we have a moment and these hatcheries are going down.
Look at this speed.
You got Lambo.
Look at this. Godlike decision making. Look at the micro. Oh, can control 2 immortals at the same time.
No way.
Holy fuck.
What the
wow.
The laser.
Wow.
Amazing.
Amazing. Amazing.
Alright. So those are their feelings on Protoss Micro. There's about, right there clapping is approximately 25,000, actually 30,000, maybe more, 35,000 MMR, just about, clapping for Protoss Micro. So, let's get back to the pure form of StarCraft 2. Zerg versus Zerg. Both sides getting a solid scout, seeing no shenanigans afoot. No, even Reynor not trying the sneaky Zerglings this time. What are you building, Serral? A Baneling nest at the front. He wants it as part of his wall, potentially. And so does Reynor. Okay. I mean, this is a match where both sides, you can, every build they've used, every style, every strategy, the ones that have worked and the ones that haven't, even Reynor's build and strats, you can copy those down, supply for supply, mineral for mineral. They are the best at ZVZ in the world. Scarlet, a close third probably, but Serral and Reynor. And now here's the thing, even including Korea, Serral, of course, is very accomplished against Korean Zergs, but in GSL and in Korea in general, there really isn't that much ZVZ. It is pretty commonly accepted, or at least argued, that European Zergs are, especially in ZVZ, better. So this is the best you can find. And now we're gonna dance. 6 banelings on the way for Reynor. Serral is on the attack. Now, this is a macro pressure here. A couple banelings coming in, a trade for Serral. Serral's looking to bait out enough units from Reynor that he can get an economic lead. He didn't expect, and he wasn't planning on getting game-ending damage. This is just to force your opponent to overreact, maybe get some good trades. And of course, oh no, not the oldest trick in the book. Come on. Come on. No. No, no, no. This isn't Gold League anymore. Okay. No, come... Really? Okay, Reynor knows. 2 Zerglings, and then 2 Banelings in the main. Is a strategy tried and true at every level. Not this time, though. Reynor caught it. Serral not gonna bank his strategy on 2 Zerglings in the wall. One Baneling negated there. Reynor not gonna be able to get much done. Serral trying to do bare bones. There's 47 drones. Reynor has done a good job of boxing out here. Serral going for the Carapace upgrade, which actually means he might be leaning on his Zerglings for long. Oh, what a wall! A Zergling and a Queen! More than enough! And you cannot come in, says Serral. Oh, this actually is an all-out attack. He denies Reynor the Scout. There is no lair on the way. Serral is not making any more. Well, as soon as I say it, he makes 2 more drones. But with +1 Carapace, Banelings no longer one-shot Zerglings. And of course, Zerglings just straight up are better. Serral is gonna try to kill Reynor and move on to the WCS Finals. Reynor, he has +1, but it's a long way off. He doesn't even have a Roach Warren done, let alone he's got a lair on the way. He's got 60 drones! Oh no. Has he gotten too greedy? Last game, Serral also... Oh, the Banelings! Banelings come into the 3rd. Cut that drone count down by 7. But Reynor's holding for now. The Roaches are holding on the other side. Reynor, if he was looking, he might catch a small glimpse, but that's it. Reynor getting Overlord speed. He's rebuilding drones right up. He really needs to scout this. There is no lair for Serral. Serral is attacking. 3 spine crawlers on the way, but here come the Roaches, slowly but surely, on their way across. 20 Roaches against 0. 20 oftentimes known as more than 0. The Banelings coming through. 7 Banelings can easily take out a lot of those spores, and of course Lings and Banes themselves. Reynor will be forced into Banelings. He doesn't have +1 attack yet. He needs to deal with the Banes. They're coming in. The Queens are in front. They're trying to hold the line. Roaches are building 5 spine crawlers. Serral continuing to grind through. The spine is not done. 2, 3, 4 spines at the 3rd, but the natural is vulnerable. The Roaches coming out. Serral streaming over everything. He's going down. I think he'll turn around when he sees these. Yeah. No. None of that. He's going into the mineral line. So many drones. There's nothing. The Roach Warren is under attack. +1 attack finished, but there's just no Roaches. It's 14 against 10. The +1 Carapace helping keep these Lings alive. Serral's on top of everything. The Spine Crawlers, he put together some forces at the 3rd. The Spine Crawlers are migrating, but they can't migrate fast enough. They get leg cramps off of creep. It's already amusing they have any legs at all. Serral takes it. 3-0. He says, all right, I let someone else win WCS, all right? But once, not twice. I didn't like it very much. He moves on. Reynor does not. pretty dominant. Honestly, though, that game was very decisive, but game 1 and game 2 were a few roaches away from going the other way. So Reynor putting up a very solid... Obviously, Reynor is capable. You don't make it to the finals, you don't win, and you don't make it to the semifinals without being competent. But Serral today just looked too strong. And any little holes or gaps in his play were definitely patched up since WCS Winter. And Serral is back on top. He takes Reynor out with relative ease, 3-0. So, is Serral back? Leave a comment. Be like, well, these guys don't look so good. I'm in Diamond League and I'm better than them. Fair, you got a point. But while you're in Diamond League, make sure to like and subscribe. Ring the bell. Slap the... Nope, we already did that. The like button. Or the dislike button. Because you dislike Zergs and you're a Protoss purist. Which, I mean, is appropriate for Protoss. They're a little space racist. Moving on. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed my commentary. Check out other WCS spring matches as well. Thank you.